The Command & Conquer games are seen as the pinnacle of the RTS genre. Stellar gameplay and level design is a key part of this, but what I think takes a great game and makes it one of the very best is an amazing story. A story that is populated with a myriad of strange and intriguing characters. Command & Conquer couples a top-tier gameplay experience with a strong desire to progress simply to see where the story goes next. From the apocalyptic Tiberian Wars stories to the mind-bending, time-travelling epics that make up the Red Alert series, there are a wealth of characters to be introduced to. I'm Tom, and these are the top 5 most iconic Command & Conquer characters. Are you picking this up? Because at number 5, it's General Shepard for Command & Conquer. Among the endless list of colourful characters, it was one of the most subdued that we met first. General Shepard is the leader of the GDI forces during the first ever Command & Conquer game. His is an arc that plays out wonderfully, as GDI is not the all-powerful entity it would become in later titles. Starting out as a worried yet confident general, his stern tone sets up the story perfectly and starts you on your journey to defeating the Brotherhood of Nod. Of course, later it is Shepard that takes the heat for Nod's victories on the propaganda front, and he looks visibly shaken. He is a man who is more comfortable on the battlefield than in the press room. As our first real companion in the Command & Conquer world, we can do no better than General Shepard. At number 4, it's Anton Slavic from Tiberian Sun. I was never really a fan of the third-person protagonist for Tiberian Sun, but as a character, Anton Slavic, commander of the Brotherhood of Nod, was always far more interesting than his GDI counterpart, McNeil, which I still think sounds like a Simpsons parody of a general. Slavic was one of those subtly calm yet menacing villainous figures. He's a fascinating mix of cold-hearted pragmatism and fanatical devotion to the Brotherhood, and, unlike some of his treasonous brothers, to the Messiah too, Cain. Personally, I think Slavic shines the most in the Tib Sum expansion, Firestorm, where he hatches a plot to take control of the Brotherhood of Nod after one of Cain's numerous apparent demises. He is a cold and calculating man, an icy demeanour with a burning passion to restoring the Brotherhood to its former glories. Number 3, Yuri from Red Alert 2. Yuri is a ridiculous and outlandish character in a story famed for being ridiculous and outlandish. He is the right-hand man to Premier Romanov and a psychic to boot. Yuri is the mastermind behind the Soviet invasion of the United States. Using mind control powers, Yuri not only allows the Soviets to attack undetected, but when they are entrenched on American soil, he attempts to set up psychic beacons to control the hearts and minds of the American people. Yuri's look and his voice make him just as unsettling as his terrifying powers do. He was so enthralling as a character that Red Alert 2 built its expansion pack around him, Yuri's Revenge. In this expansion, Yuri got his own separate faction and attempted to bring the entire world under his spell. Yuri is one of those characters that is at once repellent yet captivating. You can't help but look. And remember, your feeling of helplessness is your best friend, Savage. At number 2, it's Tanya from Red Alert 1 and Red Alert 2, and not so much 3. Tanya is a badass, plain and simple. The dual pistol wielding commando, Tanya Adams is devastating to both infantry and to bases. We are introduced to the civilian operative Tanya Adams in the first Red Alert, and straight away she can complete a mission single-handedly. On the battlefield map, Tanya is a walking catchphrase machine, taunting enemies as she mows through them. In the cutscenes of Red Alert, This version of Tanya is more subdued than in later iterations, but Red Alert's most graphic cutscene comes at her hands. You know the one I mean, the one where she traps the guy who has been torturing her under her chair and just executes him mercilessly, like really blows him away. It's brutal. Carrie Wur's turn as Agent Tanya in Red Alert 2 is perhaps the most iconic version of the character. Wur plays Tanya as a fiercely loyal yet slow to trust soldier. She regularly berates her superiors, including you, the player, but she saves her real ire for the Soviets. The feeling that you have finally earned her trust is one of the most emotionally rewarding parts of Red Alert 2's story. The smart talking catchphrases make their return, and on both the battlefield and during the cutscenes, Tanya is as entertaining as she is deadly. And Red Alert 3 is also a game that happened. Before we get to number 1, I want to give a few honourable mentions. The character of Ava has had many different guises over both the Tiberium and Red Alert series. Sometimes she's merely an AI, and other times she's an actual person. Obviously, her time in Red Alert 2 is undoubtedly the best, with Athena Massey playing her as smart and confident, yet still vulnerable. Red Alert 2, and in a lesser known appearance, the original Red Alert's expansion, well, we get the loudmouth Texan General, General Carvel. A funny yet commanding man, Carvel's death in Red Alert 2 is a powerful moment. Lastly, I almost included Command & Conquer General's Dr. Thrax, purely for the line, "You've come for the toxins, but you'll stay because you're dead," before manically laughing at his own joke. That kind of finding yourself hilarious energy is something I can certainly relate to, and I'm all for it. Topping our list? Well, you can't kill the Messiah. It's Kane. The Brotherhood of Nod's leader, the enigmatic, charismatic Kane. Kane is a seemingly immortal man and is the only character to feature across all 3 Tiberium Wars story. I mean, there might have been a 4th, but we tried to forget about that. Kane, his plans, his motivations, and his origins are usually a mystery to us throughout the entire series. The shadowy nature of the man that GDI keeps trying and failing to kill is obscure. And you know what? That's absolutely fine. In fact, it's better than fine. It's great. Not every character needs an origin story. Disney, are you listening? It's suggested that he might be the biblical Cain from the Cain and Abel story, and that he has existed for thousands of years, infiltrating society's upper echelons and steering things behind the scenes. In the now abandoned prequel threads of Red Alert, we see that Cain has infiltrated the Soviet Union, controlling them, waiting for the emergence of Tiberium so that the Brotherhood of Nod can reveal itself. Cain, and his truly fascinating character and story, is a large part of what made the Command & Conquer series the groundbreaking games that they are. It was his story that got people gripped, and it was seeing what he was going to do next that made us want to complete every mission. Joe Kukin, the man who plays Cain, has a lot in common with his character. Firstly, if you have seen what he looks like in 2021, you'll agree that, like Cain, he seemingly does not age. Secondly, Joe Kukin was also the director of a large number of the cutscenes in all of Westwood's Command & Conquer titles. So like Cain, his presence was always felt, even when you couldn't see him. Cain, both the character and the man who plays him, are the heart and soul of the Command & Conquer series. It simply could not exist without him. And there you have it. That's my opinion. What's yours? Leave your own top 5s and any suggestions for future lists in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I've been Strat Tom, and I will see you next time.